Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tea Time. I apologize for this being very late. I've had a lot of stuff on my plate. July 2nd, community feedback update is the topic for today's Tea Time, so let's get right into it. Chat improvements. They're giving us back our features! Yay! The features that we lost are coming back. I think all of them are there. I'm pretty sure all of them are there. The important thing is that we're continuing to work on the layout of the UI to ensure that chat doesn't interfere with client functionality, so we can eliminate the requirement for window management. This is so good. So it's not just they're slapping a new chat system on, they're creating, let's hope, a new UI that the chat fits into. It's sort of like looking at it from the entire perspective of the whole chat and not just, of the whole UI rather, and not just the chat. Not just, oh, well, we'll have a chat. We leave everything the same, but we also have a chat over here. I think Heroes of the Storm does a pretty good job with integrating all the different things in their UI so that you don't have to do any window management. So something like that would be good. I don't think a port of the Heroes of the Storm UI would be good for Starcraft at all. No way. But hopefully they'll come up with something really cool and unique and awesome and special just for Starcraft. Let's keep the fingers in the crossed position. Ghost ability. So they saw the cool Reddit post with the line damage snipe. They said no, because skill shots, more specifically directional skill shots, not really something that works out, caused a lot of confusion in Starcraft, and they're gonna go on a little bit down and talk about that. But they did something pretty neat. So Snipe is back. We like Snipe, but this time it has a 5-second channel before it shoots, and it's, gonna have significant damage. So it's not just like, well, you could snipe, but it won't even kill a Zergling. So hopefully above Zergling hit points would be nice, maybe even more. It sort of prevents, it's basically like the Ghost has a Yamato cannon now, except the only real difference is that you can interrupt the Ghost by dealing any damage to it at all. And I think this is kind of a cool way to implement counterplay that is not ability specific, like you can feedback and then the Ghost won't get you. But it's only for one unit, one ability. If you have the energy damage, there are tons of units that do damage. There's splash damage. Ooh, interesting, right? If it's cloaked, you could splash damage and interrupt the snipe. Pretty neat. I'm not sure if it's a cooldown spell or if it's an energy spell. It's gonna be interesting to see exactly the details of that as it comes out. This is only the current, they said the current version that they have up right now, so could be changed before it actually gets in the game and we can get our hands upon it. Individual Overlord transport upgrade thing. So there's a new thing, it's called Overlord Drops, and it's killing people. And the people are saying, hey, this thing is killing us, and Blizzard is saying, it's okay, let's take some time to plan this out, So they're giving a little bit more time, which is, I'm really happy about it. One small change I would make to the individual Overlord transport upgrade is I would just make it a morph. So you can morph into an Overseer, or you can morph into a drop Overlord, a dropper lord, Lord of the Drops, whatever it is that you want to call it. And the idea basically is that it's more of a scoutable thing, which is kind of cool. You could individually control the speed of the dropping Overlord, which I think also would be cool. And it makes it a little bit more, I think, because it's scoutable, maybe it's a little bit less strong. You do lose the whole which Overlord is the Ultralisk in thing, but I think it's an acceptable loss. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Minimap icons for destructible rocks and towers. Cool, been talking about it for a long time. I think it's actually going to be in the next patch. Nice. Map diversity. Now, there has been a lot of rage in the community recently about weird maps, and people saying, but these weird maps are IMBA! And now, BlizzCon will be decided by IMBA maps and not by who's the best player. I think I don't know. I'm a really big fan of all the new maps, the direction that they're taking, the very different sort of styles that will, I think, emerge from these different maps because you have to play them differently. I feel like pretty much in the entire history of StarCraft 2, we've had very few maps where it's like, oh, this map, you have to play it differently than normal. Almost all the maps are just sort of like, yeah, you know, it's like, oh yeah, on this map, I take my expansion a little bit faster than I normally do on other maps. It's sort of like, it's not really anything too exciting, not anything too specific. So I really like the direction of these sort of wider fringe maps with really weird things, and I think that they'll get figured out. That's how I feel about it. I'm making my prediction. I think they're gonna get figured out for the most part. There may be very specific things that are super duper strong, and Blizzard's gonna address them. That's kind of what they say here, right? It's interesting because this is about Legacy of the Void and not Heart of the Swarm. But Heart of the Swarm, there is a lot of sort of criticism towards Blizzard's most recent pool, but I think it's sort of on topic. It's sort of there. But in any case, they're sort of acknowledging these are all the points. We understand that it makes it harder for pro players, but it's better for, you know, regular players. It keeps the game fresh and exciting for, you know, stream viewers, esports people, and you know, it's sort of like, yeah, if you're a professional player, one of the things that you have to deal with is new maps, and one of the skills that you have to develop is learning how to deal with new maps other than just not playing on them. And I think that that sort of puts more advantage in the favor of the creative players and the players that are very good at sort of accepting, I'm a StarCraft player, this is the map, I'm going to figure out how to beat it, instead of like, oh man, this map is broken, and then complain. Terran Mech, they nerfed the Cyclone and they split up the mech upgrades, and now mech isn't being played as much. I feel like this is another one of those cases where it's like, double nerf! And they're like, double nerf was too much. Maybe we should have just done one nerf. And it's sort of like, okay. But now they're gonna do like a double buff to the Cyclone. They're gonna give it higher damage and they're gonna give it the range upgrade. It's like, one at a time? I don't know. I would do things one at a time. I feel like it's really hard to tell what's making the difference in the power of the Cyclone when two things are being changed simultaneously that don't really interact all that much. It's just sort of like higher damage. Okay, it's gonna kill stuff faster. You know, more range, it's gonna kill stuff faster. It doesn't really change all that much. I like the shorter range Cyclones in the beginning just because I feel like there was kind of a dance there. It was kind of nice where like, all right, you break away, you get close, you have to, you know, but with the rolling the big range right into it from the beginning, I think is, it just shuts down a lot of counterplay and makes the engagements kind of non-interesting. But one of the cool things though, changing the lock-on functionality that causes the ability to break if the Cyclone loses vision. As I understand it, the Cyclone currently does not break if you lose vision. But I think it should. I think that's such a cool, interesting thing. It's this, again, it's kind of like the damage interrupting the Snipe, right? It's this, all kinds of units can do this, not just, okay, you have a very specific unit, this specific unit counters this specific unit, and you have to build it, or, you know, it's like, it's a lot more broadly based. It's sort of like, okay, if you can break the, you know, if you can position yourself near a ramp, you can kind of engage the Cyclones, move up the ramp out of vision, and come back in and engage them. It opens up a lot of counterplay options to the Cyclones, I move while I shoot and deal tons of damage thing, which generally shuts down most counterplay. So opening up more counterplay options for the Cyclone, I think is great. The higher damage and range upgrade, I think may be a bit much, but we'll see. Ravager Balance suggestion. Moving it back. This is another one of those, oh, double nerf, wait, it's too much. Bring back one of those buffs kind of things. So this is something I've been hoping for a really, really, really long time. And by a really long time, I mean as soon as they changed it, I wished that they didn't. The weapon range is being brought back to 6. We hope. They're testing it internally this week. So last week. So hopefully they've tested it and they said, yes, the Ravager at 6 range is nice. We like it. And this is something I've sort of already talked about. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And the Liberator. So the Liberator is still kind of new. It's not that strong in low numbers against equal cost of enemy air units, apparently. And the anti-ground positioning play is cool, which I agree with. There's even been some games where I've played where people have harassed me on like Iron Fortress over the edge with the versus ground ability. It's kind of neat. It's like, that's cool. I like that. Pretty wild stuff. So the idea is that maybe they're going to make the anti-ground stuff stronger, but they're pretty happy with where the AA is right now. I don't have too much of an opinion on the current state of Liberator because it's kind of new. It's kind of still getting figured out, I feel, finding its place, and it's good that they're kind of still tweaking with it. That's all I have to say about that. My name is JaKaTaK, and as always, thanks for watching. If you have an idea for a video you would like me to do, please leave it with any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with letter C in the comment section below, and I'll see you again soon. Oh shit, I don't have any tea. This is gonna be a lie that only the 10 of you will know. Oh shit, it's just water. Oh, it's just a prop. Oh my God. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I really hope it does. That comment is not going to be popular. People are going to say, you don't even know what maps are. You're in Gold League. How would you even know? And I will say, well, practice my counter BM. And I'll say, excellent point. So I think sort of yeah, we're just gonna start that one over. And the Liberator is weakened. Oh, motherfuck. What am I even gonna say about this? It's because I have like nothing to say, right? RIP headphone users. And the Liberator, so the ground. Emotionally activated.